Recording in progress. ISKCON BBT संस्था भगाचार्य श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। जय ओम विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्राजक अष्टोत्तर शतश्री इस डिवाइन ग्रेस भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती ठाकुर श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय। नामाचार्य श्रील हरिदास ठाकुर की जय। प्रेम को श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद की जय। श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण गोप गोपीनाथ श्याम कुंड राधा कुंड गिरि गोवर्धन की जय। वृंदावन धाम मधुरा धाम की जय। मायापुर धाम नवदीप धाम की जय। पुरुषोत्तम क्षेत्र जगन्नाथपुरी धाम की जय। गंगा माई यमुना माई की जय। तुलसी देवी भक्ति देवी की जय। सामवेद भक्त वृंद की जय। श्रील प्रभुपाद ट्रांसेंडेंटल बुक डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन की जय। कालीगो पावन श्री हरिनाम संकीर्तन की जय। निताय गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि बोल। All glories to assembled devotees. Hare Krishna. All glories to assembled devotees. Hare Krishna. All glories to assembled devotees. Hare Krishna. All glories, all glories, all glories. Shri Guru and Gauranga, all glories. Shri Prabhupada ki jai. Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhakti Vedanta Swami Nityanamane. Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharane Vishesha Shunyavadi. ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय।
ओम नमो भगवते Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana-shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamaryam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamsya Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sagrana Raghunatham Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sakana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostude Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Hari Hari Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. Again, I'm very grateful that you are all here. Thank you, Srinivas Prabhu.
Thank you, Prabhu, for coming here and giving your association.
Thank you for this opportunity to speak on something on Bhagavad Gita. So, for anything to be successful in life or in anywhere, three things are required. First, you need to have a properly well-defined goal. And after defining the goal, you need a process to attain that goal. In order for process to work, you need a good ambience which is conducive to conduct the process is required. If these three things are there, success can be achieved. A goal, the process and tools required to achieve that goal, and an ambience which is conducive to conduct the process. You might have a goal, you might have the process, but if the ambience is not conducive to conduct the process, you won't be able to conduct the process properly. Then you will not be able to reach the goal. An ambience is required which is conducive to conduct the process. Ambience means culture. The word culture in English, now for example, if you go to the lab, if you want to give a test.
1 second, Prabhu. Those people who are attending online, is the audio clear and loud?
Yes,
Yes,
Prabhuji.
Prabhuji. Yeah, it's clear
Yes,
and loud.
Prabhuji.
Yes.
Okay, go ahead.
For example, when you go to a lab, medical lab, they take a sample from your blood or something, and then they will put in a culture so that any bacteria or anything is there, it will magnify. Understand? That's called culture. Culture means an ambience which is conducive for something to grow. Vedic culture means a culture which is based on the knowledge of the Vedas, which is conducive to conduct the process to attain the goal of human form of life. That is Vedic culture. And His Grace Harivilas Maharaj named Vedic Cultural Center.
Yeah.
This is the thought process behind what Vedic culture means. Now that extension of that Vedic culture is manifesting here in Nanda Maharaj Prabhu's home. Mataji, your name?
Yashoda Maitreya.
In Nanda Maharaj Prabhu and Yashodamai Mataji's home, it is manifesting. That extension of the Vedic Cultural Center is manifesting here. Thank you very much. And I am very grateful that you are all coming and participating in the activities of the Vedic Culture Center. I pray to Shishi Nitai Sachisutta Chandra Bhagavan that a bigger Vedic Culture Center manifests here.
Exactly.
So that the Vasis of Batal can get benefit from this Vedic culture.
Every one of them are dreaming about it every day.
I didn't know about that.
May your words come true very soon.
Just inspired to be here. And I also, if possible, by words, I want to inspire all of you. That's the idea. As I said, Vedic culture means based on the knowledge of the Vedas. What is Vedas? Vedas, in general, people say when Vedas means Rig, Yajur, Sama, Atharva Veda. That's what they take. This Vedas, when we say Rig Veda, means they refer to Rig Veda Samhita. Within Vedas, there are 4 categories of knowledge. The 4 books we all know, Rig, Yajur, Sama, Atharva Veda. Actually, originally there was only one. It's called Yajur Veda. All the Vedas were only one. Vedas were only one. Yajur Veda. And everything included in that. In the end of Dwapar Yuga, Veda Vyas, Krishna Dvaipayana Veda Vyas, when he appeared, he saw in the Kali Yuga, he foresaw in Kali Yuga people will have short life, short memory, short attention span, and impatient. He saw the unfortunate situation of the Kali Yuga people. Out of compassion for them, he compiled the Vedas into 4 divisions. The word Vyas means one who divides. Veda Vyas means a title given to him. His actual name is Krishna Dvaipayana. Veda Vyas is a position, a title. So his job is to divide the Vedas into 4 divisions. He compiled the Vedas into 4 divisions. Appointed 4 of his disciples as professors of those 4 divisions. So that this knowledge can continue in Kali Yuga. That is how these 4 Vedas manifested. Within these 4 Vedas, again, there are 4 categories of knowledge called Samhita is the first category. The word Samhita means prayers. Prayers glorifying various personalities. Indra, Chandra, Vayu, Varuna, Surya. Like that, there are many Vedic great personalities are there. Glorifying different personalities, the prayers are offered in the Samhitas. Now, this Samhita prayers, if you just offer prayers, is it sufficient? You also need how to worship them. You offer prayers, also you need a process to worship, the rituals to worship. That is explained in a category of knowledge called Brahmanas. Samhitas gives the prayers, Brahmanas gives the process, the rituals to worship those personalities. Now, what is the meaning of all these prayers and worships? The esoteric meaning of all those prayers are given in a category of knowledge called Aranyaka. Aranya means what? Forest. Aranyaka means generally it is studied when we are in forest. Means in the Vedic tradition, the first 25 years as a brahmachari, as a student life, one will memorize all the Vedas, specifically focusing on the Samhita, the prayers. After well trained by the spiritual master, then he will be given permission to enter into Grihastha family life. During the Grihastha family life, he will be engaged in various rituals using the Brahmana portions. The first 25 years during this brahmachari life, the focus was on the Samhita. The second second portion of the life, during the Grihastha family life, 25 to 30, 50 years old, he will focus more on the rituals and worships, conducting various yagyas and pujas. Now after 50, he will enter into retired life called Vanaprastha life. During those Vanaprastha life, when he is slowly getting detached from all the material activities, he will be focusing on studying the esoteric meaning of all this prayers and worships. Why did I do all these things? What is the meaning of all these things? Then, after sufficiently getting detached from everything at some point of time, and during Vanaprastha life, he will be traveling with his wife to various holy places. He will be staying in the forest as a rishi. He will be meditating and contemplating on the meanings. His wife will be assisting. But in the fourth stage of life, he will give up complete attachment to the family, including his wife. His wife will usually go back to the son, go back to the family. And then he will take a renounced order of life, sannyas. In the sannyas, he will try to conclude all this knowledge in a category of knowledge called Upanishads. Upanishads gives the concluding portion of the teachings of the Vedas. That is why Upanishad is called Vedanta. Veda means knowledge, Anta means end or conclusion. Vedanta gives conclusion of all this knowledge. So this is generally studied when somebody is completely detached from all material activities of the life. When he is in the renounced order of life or sannyas life, he will contemplate on the meaning of the Vedas. The conclusion of the Vedas. Focus will be on understanding Brahman, understanding the absolute truth. Like that he will contemplate. That is why it is said that Janmana Jayate Shudraha. By birth, everybody is a Shudra. Samskaret iti Dvijaga. By performance of various purificatory ceremonies. By samskaras, one becomes Dvija. Dvija means twice born. Meaning, he had taken a second birth so that he can go and study under the direction of the spiritual master in a Gurukula. When he goes and studies based on the propensity of that particular student, the teacher will see that, oh, he has more a Brahmanical tendency, he has more a Kshatriya tendency, he has a more a Vaishya tendency. Only these three, Brahmana, Kshatriyas and Vaishyas, are called Dvijas, and they are allowed to go and study the Vedas under Guru. Among them, any student comes, if he sees that that particular student is having a Vaishya propensity, he will focus more on Artha Shastras and economic development. If the student has more Kshatriya tendency, he will focus on weaponry, Dhanurveda and administration. Those kind of Dharma Shastras he will teach. But if the student has more propensity, Brahmanical propensity, then he will go into the deeper parts of the Vedas, into Samhitas and Brahmanas and Aranyakas and Upanishads. When that person becomes an expert in the study of the Vedas, he becomes Vipra. Janmana Jayate Shudra Samskare Bhava Dvijaga Veda Padet Iti Vipraha. When he becomes expert in the study of the Vedas, that Brahmana is called a Vipra. Now, going through all this various rituals and pujas in his life as a brahmachari, as a grihastha, as a vanaprastha, when he comes to studying the Upanishads and starts contemplating Brahman, he becomes actually a Brahmana. Brahma janati iti Brahmanaha. Brahmana means not one who wears a 25 piece thread in his shoulder and ring some ganti, ding 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 ding, some puja. Generally, our mindset is Brahmana means one who does some puja, or a particular born in a particular family, or a particular group. No. Brahma janati iti Brahmanaka, one who constantly meditates on the Brahman, the supreme absolute truth. He is called a Brahmana. Now, that supreme absolute truth can be understood at the three levels: Brahman, Paramatma, and Bhagavan. Brahman, Paramatma, and Bhagavan. Bhagavan is the last word in understanding the supreme absolute truth. Bhagavan means supreme personality of Godhead. This is the goal of human form of life, is to come up to the level of Brahmana and understanding the supreme absolute truth, so that one can surrender unto the supreme personality of Godhead. This is the goal of Vedic culture. Vedic culture helps people from any walk of life. Anywhere you might be, it will gradually elevate you. Come up to the level of a Brahmana, so that you can understand, contemplate on the Brahman. After understanding Brahman, the source of Brahman is Bhagavan. This is the goal of human form of life. This is the focus of Vedic culture. Now, what is the purpose of all the Vedas? Again, what is the purpose?
To help you.
To reach the goal. The purpose of the Vedas is to simply put, to know its purpose. Purpose of Vedas is to know its purpose. What is the purpose? Krishna tells in Bhagavad Gita, Sarvasya Chagam Hridishen Nivishto Mata Smritir Jnanam Apohanam Cha Vedaisa Sharvair Aham Veva Vedyo Vedanta Kritveva Videva Chagam. 15th chapter, 15th verse. Remember 15.15. It's called Purushottama Yoga. In that, Krishna is telling, I am situated in everyone's heart. Sarvasya Chagam Hridishan Nivishto. I am situated in everyone's Hridaya. Sanivishto means situated. Mata Smritir Jnanam. From me comes memory, remembrance. Jnanam, knowledge. Apoganam, forgetfulness. Prabhuji, I can understand knowledge and memory. Why forgetfulness has to come from Krishna? Forgetfulness comes out of our own ignorance, no? We'll cover that later. Forgetfulness is also coming from Krishna only. If Krishna doesn't want you to forget, you can't forget something. If Krishna doesn't want you to remember something, you can't remember something. Everything comes from Krishna. Mata Smriti Jnanam Apohanam Cha. The next line is telling Vedaisha Sharvair Aham Veva Vedyo. Of all the Vedas, Vedaisha Sharvair Aham Veva Vedyo. I am to be known. What is the purpose of all the Vedas? To know Krishna. Vedesha Sharvair Aham Veva Vedyo. Vedanta Kritveda. I am the compiler of the Vedas. Vedanta. He is saying, I am the compiler of the Vedantas. Indeed, I am the knower of all the Vedas. This is Krishna saying in Bhagavad Gita. My purpose of all the Vedas is to know Krishna. As I said, this gamut of Vedic knowledge, right? The Vedas, Samhitas, Brahmanas, Aranyakas, who can come up to the level of studying up to Brahman? A Brahmana. Brahma Janati iti Brahmana hai. What about others? People who are born. Shudra means not something low. Shudra means generally he doesn't need training. He will get trained under the father, the family tradition. He will develop the skill. Right? The work, techniques, artisanship, all of them from the father. He don't have to go to Guru. Generally learn from the father and continues.
Stop sharing your screen so that everybody can see your full.
Okay. So, a Shudra doesn't have to go to study. And sometimes, the women who are helping in the whole thing, they are not studying the Vedas. The only who can come up to the full goal of Vedas is only the Brahmana. What about people who are born in the Brahmanical family, but who don't have Brahmanical tendency? They are called Brahmana Bandhus. People who are born in a Brahmanical family, but who don't have Brahmanical tendency, they are not Brahmanas. They are Brahmana Bandhus. What about them? Dvija Bandhus, right? Stri, Shudra, they all should not get benefit of the Vedas or what? Vedas is partial only to these people?
No.
They also should get benefit, na? That benefit for them is not given in the certain portion of the Vedas, it is given in another portion of the Vedas. So these two portions, one is called Shruti, the other portion is called Smriti. Shruti teaches all the principles in an abstract way. It requires certain amount of focus and intelligence and capacity to understand the Shruti. That is why only Brahmanas can reach up to that point. For people who don't have the Brahmanical tendency, they also can get benefit in the portion of the Vedas called Smriti. Shruti means what is revealed. Smriti means what is remembered. What is remembering means what? When the great sages, when they see the historical accounts of this world through the eyes of the Shruti, oh, in this particular situation, this particular thing happened. Oh, this can be understood with this principle in the Shruti. Like that, when they see the historical account through the eyes of the Shruti, they remember, oh, this story is very useful. This particular case study is very useful. Like that, they compiled all the stories where people can easily grasp. Instead of focusing on the principle, they can, through the story, they can learn the same principle. That is Smriti. You can get the same benefit without going through the hoops of all the difficulty. Because studying the Vedas, you know what is the prerequisite to study Vedas? You need to study Vedanga. Anga means what?
Limbs.
Limbs or parts. Right? Anga means limb or part. Because in order to study the Vedas, you need to know Vedangas. Otherwise, you will not be able to study the Vedas. What are the Vedanga? Shiksha, pronunciation. How to pronounce all these Vedic mantras. You need to know. Then, Chandas, the prosody, the how to recite, in what meter to recite all this. That is Chandas. Then, how to, if you want to study, you can pronounce and memorize, you can sing. Now, how to understand the meaning? For that, you need to know, break down all these words called Vyakarana, the grammar. And then, after breaking down the words into Vyakarana, through Vyakarana, after breaking down the words, then you need to know the meaning of each words. For that, you need to go to study Nirukti. Nirukti means etymology of the words. Sanskrit, all the words can be broken down into dhatus, the root words. Then once you break it down into dhatus, then you can understand the meaning. That is through Nirukti. Now, you understood the meaning also. You have the tools to understand, pronounce, singing. Now, to perform rituals, you need to know when to perform rituals. Right? Where to perform, when to perform. You need to know the calculation of time. That's called Jyotisha. Jyotisha means not just simply astrology. Jyotisha means study of time. Study movement of the sun, based on the movement of the sun and moon, understand time. So that you can calculate, oh, this particular ritual, particular puja needs to be done in an appropriate time. Otherwise, it will not be beneficial. You need to know how to do all calculation through time. That's called Jyotisha. Then, In order to conduct the yagyas, you need to build the yagyashala. No? Yagyashalas needs to be built according to proper proportion and proper measurement. There are formulas required, mathematical formulas required to construct the yagyashala. That is called kalpas. These 6 are the Vedangas. One has to study all the 6 so that you can study the Vedas. So that you can eventually become Vipra. Then you can become Brahmana. To give a portion, it takes at least 12 years to study Vyakarana alone. We have this kind of patience, this kind of tendencies. Then if you have, then you can get the full study of the Upanishads. I don't have the capability. Then the Bhagavan is so partial or what? Only Brahmanas should study Vedas and get benefit or what? For that portion, the same thing can be achieved through the stories. Same principle can be understood by historical accounts, case studies. That's all part of Smriti. And Smriti again contains the 18 Mahapuranas, the 18 Upapuranas, the Idihasas, Ramayana and Mahabharata. These all constitute Smriti. Smriti. In that Smriti, of course, the conclusion of all the Smriti can be understood that it is there in Mahabharata. Within Mahabharata, the most important part of Mahabharata is in the Bhishma Parva, chapter number 8. 8 to something. 18 chapters. Constitutes
Bhagavad Gita.
Bhagavad Gita. Spoken on the battlefield of Kurukshetra by Krishna to Arjuna. The essence of all the Smriti literature is represented by Bhagavad Gita. We'll come there. Why it is the essence? Now, the knowledge through Shruti, the knowledge through Smriti. How about people who are like intellectuals who wanted to analyze everything through their own logic? They want to get knowledge through Nyaya. So, in general, in the Vedic culture, there are 3 sources of Prasthana Traya. 3 sources of knowledge. One is Shruti Prasthana, which we saw, which constitutes Samhitas, Brahmanas, Aranyakas with the help of Vedangas one studies. Some completely finally come to Upanishads, Vedanta. And then we see Smriti Prasthana through various stories and case studies in the historical accounts of the universe. We can get the same benefits. That is Smriti Prasthana. People who are analyzing everything, they want to build up their own knowledge through logic. That is Nyaya Prasthana. How Nyaya Prasthana? When a sage studies the Upanishads, he wants to understand the logic behind all these things, right? There was one sage called Gautama. When he studied the Upanishads, he understood that the Upanishads are teaching logic through which we can get knowledge. He understood the Upanishads are teaching logic. How to know something is valid knowledge, something is invalid knowledge. What are the means to study knowledge? Like that, he saw only the logic in Upanishads. Then he propounded something called Nyaya Sutras. He said, when you study Upanishads, you will understand logics. Now later another sage came. He said, this logic is correct, but it's incomplete. Upanishads are teaching more than that. Using all this logic, if you analyze this, everywhere you see so many varieties of things in this world. All the varieties of things are made up of different combination of atoms. That's what makes everything in this world. If we combine atoms into different combinations and proportions, the varieties of things manifest. This sage name is called Kannada. The philosophy he came up is called Vaisheshika. Vaisheshika philosophy. The first sage gave Nyaya philosophy, logic. Gautama, he compiled Nyaya Sutras. And then later the another sage came called Kannada. Kannada said, no, Nyaya is correct, but it's incomplete. Through all this logic, if you see things are everywhere, so many varieties of things are there, all of them things are made up of atoms. If you combine atoms in different combinations, varieties of things are produced. The Vedic atomic theory, Anuvada. So he came up with Vaisheshika Shudras. This philosophy called Vaisheshika. Later another sage came. He said, yeah, Nyaya is correct. This Vaisheshika is also correct, but they are incomplete. If you analyze everything, if you analyze all permutation combination, varieties of things are produced, but one thing is not produced. What is not produced? Through matter. Life. In this world, there are two things. Sentient and non-sentient. Living and non-living things. Non-living things are all made up of atoms. If you combine any combination of atoms, you can produce varieties of things, but it can't produce life. But life is existing in this world. That means life is not coming from matter. Something else is the source of life. Life comes from only life. Something other than matter is producing life. You can call it as antimatter or spirit. So this theory is called Sankhya. Sankhya means literally count. If we count all categories of varieties of things, they are all made up of atoms, but one thing is not made up of atoms, which is life. Life is existing. You all agree? Life is reality, no? Life is there.
So for life you mean soul?
Yeah. You don't have to name it as soul. Something other than matter is life. You can call it as spirit or soul. This philosophical Sankhya philosophy, he came with Sankhya Sutras. This sage name is called Kapila. Understood? Nyaya, Vaisheshika, and Sankhya. Nyaya, Vaisheshika, Sankhya. Later another sage came. Hey, Nyaya is correct. Vaisheshika is correct. Sankhya is also correct, but it's incomplete. You are saying that there is soul or matter and spirit is there. You don't see spirit. How do you see the spirit? How do you realize the spirit? He came up with a process to realize the spirit. That sage name is called Patanjali. The process he came up with is called yoga. He came up with Yoga Sutras. He came up with a process. If you search everywhere, you see matter. You have to start searching inside. With the help of Ashtanga Yoga. The 8 stages, 8-step process to realize the spirit in the heart. Called Ashtanga Yoga or Dhyana Yoga, you call it. Yama, Niyama, Asana, Pranayama, Pratyahara, Dharana, Dhyana, and Samadhi. We will study in the 6th chapter of Bhagavad Gita. Krishna also talks about this. This Yoga Sutras, this philosophical yoga philosophy, Patanjali Muni came up with how to realize the spirit in the heart. Spirit is not outside, it's inside only. Soul is inside only. This is Yoga Sutras. Later another sage came. He said Nyaya is correct. Vaisheshika is also correct. Sankhya is also correct. Yoga is also correct, but they are all incomplete. This world is functioning by laws of karma, actions and reaction. He propounded a theory called Mimamsa. Karma Mimamsa. His name is called Jaimini. He came up with Mimamsa Sutras or Jaimini Sutras. He explained how all these things are nothing but actions and reactions. So you have to be very careful and understanding which action if you do, what reactions will come. So that you can do only favorable actions. Focusing on the Karma Kanda portions. focused only on doing the, making the choice of doing everything right. That focus is karma mimamsa philosophy. Later another sage came. He said Nyaya is correct, Vaisheshika is correct, Sankhya is correct, Yoga is correct, Mimamsa is correct, but they are all incomplete. He said the conclusion of all this, when you study the Upanishads, it culminates in Vedanta. He propounded a philosophy called Vedanta. He came up with something called Vedanta Sutras. Who is that? Sage Vyasadeva himself. Vyasa said how all the sadhana, these are called darshanas. In Vedic system, Shad darshanas. Nyaya, Vaisheshika, Sankhya, Yoga, Karma, Mimamsa and Vedanta. These are the Shad darshanas of the Vedas.
So these all were for Upanishad.
When you study the Upanishads, the sages understood only certain portions of the Upanishads. The conclusion of all the Upanishads comes in the Vedanta, propounded by Vedavyas, who compiled the Vedanta Sutras by refuting all the previous philosophies, how they are all incomplete. He concluded in Vedanta Sutras. That is the final word. The logical analysis. The Nyaya Prasthana is represented, conclusion is given in the Vedanta Sutras. Understood? The Shruti Prasthana, ultimate evidence is Upanishads. For Shruti Prasthana, ultimate evidence is
Upanishad.
now Smriti Prasthana, ultimate evidence is Bhagavad Gita. And Nyaya Prasthana, final concluding evidence is Vedanta Sutra. And Vedanta Sutras are meant for super intellectuals. Because only 560 formulas only is there. Sutra means formula or short aphorism. In 560 formula, 555 or 560, depending on which version you say, entire Vedic knowledge is given in this 550 formulas. They are not even like shloka like Bhagavad Gita, small only. It is like this. Have you seen banyan tree? How big it is?
Very big.
Very big. Huh? Sometimes it can go from one street to the next street. You don't know which is the root, which is the branch. Can be so big. Huh? Do you know what is the size of the seed of the banyan tree?
Very tiny, I have.
It is like a mustard seed size. The mustard seed size banyan tree seed contains the entire banyan tree, right? You take that seed, plant it, water it, nurture it. Eventually the full tree will come. The entire tree is compressed and put it inside the small mustard seed size seed. No? Like that, the entire Vedic knowledge is compressed and put it in small formulas called Vedanta Sutra. If you take each sutra, plant it, water it, nicely nurture it, then you will get the entire Vedic knowledge. This is meant for super intellectuals, huh? Vedanta Sutras. For example, the first sutra says, Atato Brahma Jigyasa. Second sutra says, Janmadi Ashataka. Third sutra says, Shastra Yonitvat. Like that, fourth sutra says, Tatu Samanyavat. What is it?
Don't understand anything.
Atato Brahma Jigyasa. Now therefore inquire. I translated. Now therefore inquire.
Still we don't understand.
Still we don't understand. Now why? Now. Why not yesterday? Why not tomorrow? Now that you have taken human birth. Now that your faculty of smelling, tasting, hearing, right, all the knowledge acquiring, Jnanendriya is working properly. Now that you have the faculty of discrimination between right and wrong, now inquire into Brahman. Because without this faculty of discrimination, you can't inquire. Why I should inquire about Brahman? Janmadi Ashataka, from which everything else came. From which everything emanated. Janmadi Yashya Yataka. Brahman is the source of everything. Everything came from Brahman. If you understand Brahman, everything else can be understood. That's second sutra. How to know about Brahman? Shastra Yonitpat. Scriptures are the only way to know about Brahman. Like that, the entire Vedic knowledge is compressed in the small formulas called Vedanta Sutra. Vedanta Sutra is the conclusion to all the darshanas, all the philosophy meant for the super intellectuals. They can carry the entire Vedic knowledge with the 550 formula. Anywhere they go, the 550 formula they know. From that they can unpack and expand all the other Vedic knowledge. It's like you carry your iPhone, your entire thing, right? Like that. This is meant for super intellectual. These are the Prasthana Traya. Trayi are three sources of knowledge. Is said Smriti Prasthana is concluded in Bhagavad Gita. But Bhagavad Gita has a special status. Not only a Smriti Prasthana. Because it is directly revealed by Bhagavan himself. It is also considered to be Shruti. Shruti means what? What is revealed. Smriti means what is remembered. Even though Bhagavad Gita comes part of the Smriti which is based on Mahabharata, which is within Mahabharata, because it is spoken by directly Krishna, it has the status as Shruti also. Because Krishna milked all the Upanishads of the cows with the help of Arjuna. What came out? Gita Amritam. Sarva Upanishad Gavo Dokta Gopala Nandana. Sudhir
Partho
Vatsa Sudhir Bhokta Gita Amritam Magat. This is Gita Mahatmya, 6th sloka. There are 7 slokas, 7 verses glorifying Bhagavad Gita called Gita Mahatmya, written by Shankaracharya. In that he is saying, one of the glorification is, if you consider all the Upanishads to be a cow, why people have cow? To have milk. If you have to get milk out of the cow, what do you need? 2 things. The calf has to be present, and then there has to be a cow herd to milk the cow. Then what comes out? First, cow will release milk only when the calf is there. After calf drinks, the excess milk will be taken by the cow herd, can take it out and give it to you. You can take it, the excess milk. Like that, if you consider all the Upanishads to be a cow, who is the transcendental cow herd boy? Krishna. Who is the Vatsa here? Arjuna. What is coming out? Gita Amritam. Who is drinking? After Arjuna drank, all the great sages and devotees, Mahat, they are all cherishing this Gita Amritam, nectarian milk of Bhagavad Gita. So, in that, if you see, when you study Bhagavad Gita, Krishna also gives by logic everything. So, Prasthana Trayi, even Nyaya Prasthana, Bhagavad Gita also satisfies this logic. So, Bhagavad Gita has a very special status. Such a Bhagavad Gita, you are all endeavoring to study every week. You are all not ordinary people, you are all Mahat. Congratulations.
Give a big round of applause to you.
Congratulations to all of you. You are all studying Bhagavad Gita. It is not an ordinary thing. To understand the importance of Bhagavad Gita, what Bhagavad Gita means, it's not an ordinary thing. Krishna tells, Manushyanam Sahasreshu Kaschit Yatati Siddhaye Yatatam Api Siddhanam Kaschin Mam Veti Tatvataka. Out of thousands of men, hardly one person is endeavoring to make perfection. Out of thousands of people who study the Vedas, hardly one will come up to the level of Vedanta and Brahmana, Brahma Janati iti Brahmana hai. Out of thousands of people who are endeavoring to attain perfection, hardly one attains perfection, called Siddha. Out of thousands of people who attained perfection, hardly one knows me in truth. That means 1,000 into 1,000 into 1,000, 1 in a billion hardly knows who Krishna is. Now 6 billion people are there on earth. Only 6 people know about Krishna.
So who are the 6 people?
So when Krishna was on the planet, how many people understood who Krishna is? Very few. The Pandavas know who Krishna is. Draupadi, including Pandavas, know. Kunti know. Bhishma knew. Vidura knew. That's it. I'm not including Brajabasis here. They are in different Leela. They are not regular.
So Dronacharya didn't know.
They might know somewhat, not fully. Everybody, even in fact, Krishna showed his Vishwarup in front of Duryodhana. You know what Duryodhana understood as? Krishna is a magician. Yeah, he did some magic and escaped. He was trying to arrest Krishna. So God in front of you comes. You need to have capacity to understand He is God. When Krishna was present on this planet 5,000 years ago, hardly very few people understood who Krishna is. That means what? We are all born in ignorance. That's why the first shloka we say is Om Ajnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Shakshur Manitam Yana Tasmai Shri. We offer this prayer to Guru because we say that we are all born in darkness of ignorance. Spiritual master is the one who opens our eyes of knowledge with help of the scriptures, torchlight of knowledge. So it is very rare. Manushyanam Sarashareshu, very rare. 1 in a billion only come to know Krishna. That's why Krishna says after many, many lives, when this person goes through this Samhitas, Brahmanas, Aranyakas, Upanishads to conclude the Upanishads, it may not happen in one life, by the way. It might take several lifetime. That's why Krishna again 7th chapter later says, Bhagunam Janmanam Ante Jnanavan Mam Prapatyate Vasudeva Sarvamati Samagatma Sudurlabhaga. After many, many births and deaths, Bhagunam Janmanam Ante. Many births come and over means death, birth, death, like that. Jnanavan, one after many, many births and deaths, one who is finally attains proper knowledge. Prapatyate, he surrenders to me. Why? He understands Vasudeva Sarvamiti. Everything is existing because of Vasudeva. Everything is existing because of Vasudeva. Such a person who surrenders to me, understanding that everything is existing because of me, such a person is very rare. Sa Mahatma Sudurlabhaga. Mahatma means great person or great soul. Sudurlabhaga means very, very rare. Durlabham. Very rare. So, you are all making endeavors.
The question.
Yes.
So when we say that, when Krishna says that when someone understood that everything is because of me, we are all listening it, right? We know everything is because of Krishna, but we are not applying it in our life.
That
So it
means we
it
know
means we
only.
don't understand.
That means we are not knowing fully.
Yeah, it means we don't understand.
Yes, it's not realized. It's only theory now.
Yeah.
If you realized it, that means you will act in that capacity.
Yeah.
Knowing is not knowing until we act on it.
Yeah.
Knowing is not knowing until we act on it. Knowing has two portions. One is knowing it theoretically and behaving according to the knowledge we know, acting according to what we know. That is completes the knowing.
Yeah.
So, this such a Bhagavad Gita, we are all endeavoring to study. This Bhagavad Gita contains these 18 chapters. Krishna in the 700 shlokas gives the entire Vedic knowledge, summarizes. In 45 minutes he delivered everything. And Arjuna understood everything. It's not possible by any human being to compress and summarize all the knowledge in the 700 shlokas. From this you can understand who Krishna is. No human beings can summarize the entire Vedas in 700 shlokas. It's not done by anybody. Only Krishna can do it. Because he is the knower of the Vedas. He is the compiler of the Vedanta. He only knows everything. Only he can summarize it. And Arjuna understood it. Understood means what?
Applied it.
He said, Krishna, by your mercy, by your prasad, by your mercy, I had regained my memory. I understood now everything properly. I am ready to act as you tell me. That means this is the conclusion. Arjuna's conclusion. If you understood Bhagavad Gita, you should be coming to who? Bhagavad Gita, who spoke to who? Krishna spoke to Arjuna. After hearing everything, Arjuna understood that I am ready to act now, as you say. If you understood Bhagavad Gita, you should come to the same conclusion. Otherwise, you had understood Bhagavad Gita wrongly. Same, whose conclusion? Arjuna's conclusion. Arjuna is saying, Krishna, I am ready to do anything. You ask me to kill my guru, I am ready to kill. Like that, we should be ready to do anything and everything for Krishna. That means we had understood Bhagavad Gita. That's a long process. Arjuna is ready. That means you should understand how extraordinary, exalted personality. This Bhagavad Gita, Arjuna understood him immediately. For us, lifelong, we have been studying for many years. Still, we have not completed third chapter. Right? Still, we have many doubts. Huh? Right?
So how do you know we are on third? We're actually on third chapter.
I told him in the previous life.
It's not ending.
He still remembers that.
Now, this Bhagavad Gita 18 chapters, Acharyas categorize into 3 sections. The first section, chapter 1 to 6, is called Karma Yoga section. Why you are calling Karma Yoga? Only third chapter is Karma Yoga, fourth chapter is Jnana Yoga, sixth chapter is Dhyana Yoga, first chapter is Arjuna Vishada Yoga, second chapter is Sankhya Yoga. Why their acharyas are calling this first 6 chapters as Karma Yoga? Why? Because the acharyas explain the living entities. Karma means what? Work or action. The living entity, they have to make their own endeavor through their prescribed duties. Slowly they should purify their consciousness so that they can come up to the level of understanding that there is Paramatma and Jivatma. Realizing the spirit, both Paramatma and Jivatma in the heart. The living entities, they have to make through their own endeavor, through work, through renunciation, through knowledge, through meditation, they go through all the purification. If you see all these activities, Karma Yoga, Jnana Yoga, the living entities' own endeavor, action, their own endeavor. That is why they say that these are all called Karma Yoga section. Understood why it's called Karma Yoga? Even though it's Karma Yoga, Dhyana Yoga, Jnana Yoga, everything is there. Why it's called Karma Yoga? These are all living entities' own endeavor they have to make. By purifying themselves, they can come up to the level of understanding Paramatma and Jivatma in the heart. Right? So, okay, this I understood, but why are you calling Arjuna's lamentation as a yoga? Arjuna Vishada Yoga, first chapter. Arjuna's lamentation, how can become a yoga? Yoga means connecting, the process to link the individual Jivatma's consciousness with to Supreme Paramatma's consciousness. The process to link. That's called yoga. How come Arjuna's lamentation become yoga? Because Arjuna's analysis led to the lamentation. That lamentation ultimately led to surrender to Krishna. This is the greatness of Arjuna. Arjuna, when he understood that the problem at my hand is beyond my pay grade. I can't solve it on my own. Understood that I have to take help of Krishna, he surrenders. Right? Please instruct me. I am a soul surrender unto you. Please instruct me what is ultimately good for me. Second chapter, 7th verse, right?
Yeah.
That's where the relationship from friendly one, from cousins relationship translates into guru-disciple relationship. Until then, Krishna does not speak one word. He is just simply waiting. What happens is, if you read the first chapter, if you use your own intelligence to introspect the situations in life, it will lead to indecision. If you use your own intelligence to introspect the situations in your life without help of Krishna or Krishna's representative, which will lead to indecision. You will not know what to do, you will be confused, you will be perplexed. That is the first chapter. Then Arjuna surrenders to Krishna. Krishna says, disciple means to be disciplined. First he chastises. Disciplines Arjuna. You spoke like a learned Pandita, but you are a fool number 1. We can't call as fool number 1, maybe fool number 2. We are now nothing in number 1. We are all failed case. Huh? Then Krishna starts speaking. You spoke, you behaved, you spoke like an anarya. Arya means what?
Civilized.
Civilized human being. Civilized human beings means one who knows the value of human form of life. You are behaving like an uncivilized human being. That means you are acting in the bodily platform. Hence Krishna starts with Natve Vagam Jatunasam Natvam Neme Janatipaka Nachavana Bhavishyamaga Sarve Vayam Ataparam. There was never a time I did not exist, nor you, nor all these kings. There will never be a time we will all cease to exist. That means we always existed in the past, we are existing now, we will exist in future. That means we are all not this body. That is the foundation of all spiritual knowledge. The moment you accept that I am not this body, your spiritual journey begins. Until then, we are in material platform only. That is why Prabhupada, everywhere he has to repeat, we are not this body, we are not this body, we are not this body. We are not even beginning our education yet. That's why Prabhupada has to repeat, we are not this body, we are spirit, we are soul. Huh?
So Prabhu, now that like Shweta Mataji asked, see, we get this knowledge that we are not the body. Now,
We don't get it.
we heard it theoretically.
We are theoretically knowing it, yes.
Theoretically, we heard it. So, how do we see the progress and try to understand that
Yes,
whether
we'll come
or
there,
not?
we'll come there. Now, Arjuna, Krishna is saying we are not this body. We are all spirit. Immediately Arjuna has a question. Krishna, if I am not this body, then what the body is? The question will come, na?
Yeah.
This question was coming in Arjuna's head. Krishna, before even Arjuna asks, Krishna answers in the next shloka. Dehinosmin yata dehe kaumaram yavvanam jara. Tada dehandra praptit dhiras tatra namihati. As the embodied soul continuously passes in this body, from boyhood to youth to old age. Similarly, at the time of death, soul moves on to another body. A sober person is not bewildered by such a change. He is telling, Arjuna, we are all eternal spirit souls. The body is a temporary one. The body is temporary. Soul is Sat Chit Ananda. Body is Asat Achit Nirananda. If you take these two opposite things, if you put it together, what will happen? Incompatibility, right? Next shloka Krishna explains that incompatibility. Matra sparshas kaunteya sida ushna sugadukkada agama painos anityas tamsha tidikshiva bharata. He is telling, if you take the eternal, permanent, conscious, blissful soul and put into Asat Achit Nirana, the temporary, dull, inert, suffering matter. If we put, what comes? Duality. The non-permanent appearance of happiness and suffering in this world is like summer and winter seasons. They arise due to our sense perception. Where is the incompatibility arising? The duality arising in our mind. Mind is the interface between matter and spirit. That's the place we experience the so-called suffering and happiness in this world. They all arise because of our sense perception. Like that, Krishna is propounding systematically. The last part of the verse, right? Matra Sparsha Sukhamate is second chapter, 14th verse, right? 14th or 15th?
14th.
In that he is saying, Tamsha Tidikshava Bharata. Meaning, one has to learn to tolerate. You understood. This is such an important line. That quarter shloka. Right? Tamsha Tidiksha, one has to learn to tolerate. Why? Acharya has explained. If we consider every verse in Bhagavad Gita, every Bhagavad Gita verse, the 700 shlokas, it is like representing thousands and thousands of shlokas from the verse. After thousands and thousands of life, after studying all the Vedas, you might be able to come to understand one verse in Bhagavad Gita. Like that, every verse in Bhagavad Gita is like a valuable gem. Vairam, Vaiduriam, Marakata, like that, different valuable gems are there. Every shloka in Bhagavad Gita is like a valuable gem. Where will you keep the valuable gem? In a jewel box. Will you keep it like jewel box? You keep it and just throw it there, unlocked in the street. It will be locked, safe. If we consider all the Bhagavad Gita shlokas to be a valuable gem, it is locked inside the Bhagavad Gita jewel box. If you have to access, what do you need? Key. If you have to unlock the Bhagavad Gita, the key to unlock the Bhagavad Gita is that quarter line in the second chapter, 14th verse. One has to learn to tolerate. Given that you have taken birth in this material body, material world is going to be full of duality. If you don't tolerate, you will not be able to stay on course in the path of spirituality. You should not get elated by the temporary happiness. You should not get depressed in the temporary suffering. Both of them are temporary. Don't get distracted from the actual path of the goal. If a person who is not disturbed by these things, who can tolerate, next verse Krishna explains in the 15th shloka, such a person is qualified for liberation. Like that, Krishna systematically propounds study of matter, starting with study of matter and spirit. That's why this chapter is called Sankhya Yoga. And then in this second chapter itself, Krishna, everything he performs, tells that you need to engage in karma, nishkama karma yoga. Your duty. He concludes Bhagavad Gita in the second chapter. Bhagavad Gita is over in second chapter. Krishna, whatever he has to tell, he told already, finished. That is why Prabhupada translates the second chapter, Sankhya Yoga in Sanskrit, as contents of Gita summarized. But Arjuna had a doubt in the application of that knowledge. Because Krishna says in the second chapter, 30 something verse. He said, stay away from abominable activities with the help of knowledge. And then later, in the second chapter, he says, Arjuna, stand up and fight. Arjuna thought these are two contradictory, incompatible instruction. Because fighting means killing. Killing is a gruesome activity. Other place you are telling that stay away from abominable activity. These are equivocal instruction. Equivocal instruction means if I do this, this is getting affected. If I do that, this is getting affected. So this is bewildering for me. Krishna Why are you saying like that? I'm confused. One side you are asking me to stand up and fight, another side you are telling that I should stay away from abominable activities. Like that, he had a question in application. That was the beginning of your third chapter, Karma Yoga. Right? That's what starts with.
Yeah.
Then like that, the conversation continues in terms of application and detail analysis. That is from third chapter to 17th chapter is further analysis details of all these applications of the knowledge what Krishna had given in the second chapter. Now again, the 18th chapter, Krishna concludes, summarizes again everything, gives the conclusion. Like that, Krishna in the first 6 chapters, how one should perform prescribed duties. Again, prescribed duties can be performed in 2 ways. By being attached to the fruits of the work and being unattached to the fruits of the work. If you are attached to the fruits of the work, what will happen? Misery comes. Over a period of time, you will learn that I got to do my duty, but if I am attached to the fruit, suffering comes. Hence, I should give up the attachment to the fruits of the work. That's called Nishkama Karma Yoga. That is what Krishna is telling. So now, if I keep on giving up the fruits of the work, if I am attached to the fruit, suffering comes. I got to give up the fruits of the work. So many people are doing so much work, so many fruits are coming, everybody is giving up the fruits. That means somebody should benefit all the fruits, na? Who is that benefactor?
Krishna.
Then that person at that time, let me find out who is the benefactor. Start searching. When you start searching, not this, this is matter. Not this, this is matter. Na iti, na iti, na iti. He is searching everywhere. Neti, neti. He rejects everything. At that time, he graduates to become a Jnana Yogi. From Karma Yogi, he graduates to become a Jnana Yogi. Start searching everywhere. What is spirit? Where is spirit? Where is spirit? After searching spirit everywhere, he is not able to find. Then maybe everywhere it is not there. Maybe it's inside. Then he starts and sits in one place. Then he does Yama, Niyama, Asana, Pranayama, Pratyahara. Start searching inside. At that time, he graduates to become a Dhyana Yogi. A Karma Yogi, when he gives up the fruits and searching for who is the benefactor of all the fruits, becomes Jnana Yogi, searching for the soul. Then he is not able to find anywhere. Then he starts meditating inside, becomes Dhyana Yogi. You see the yoga ladder. He is climbing up. The yogi is climbing the yoga ladder. After going through all the things, Yama, Niyama, do's and don'ts, Asana, making the body flexible. There are more than 60, 70 types of asanas are there. Why? To make your body fit, so that you can sit in one place for a long time. I don't see anybody sitting properly. Right? What do you mean? Meaning in the end of all the asanas, only one asana is useful. What is Padmasana? You should be able to sit in the lotus posture for a long, long, long time. All the other asanas to make your body fit. That's all. There is no other spiritual benefit. It's a material thing. Then pranayama. You need to learn how to control the breathing, because if even the breathing can disturb your mind. If you know how to control the breathing, along with the side benefit, what comes? You prolong your life. Because your life is not based on number of days, based on number of breaths. So yogi, that way, he prolongs the life and then controls the mind. Try to control the mind. Next, in the process of controlling the mind is pratyahara. Yama, niyama, asana, and then pranayama, pratyahara. Ahara means what? Food. Pratya means what? Not giving up, drying it up. Pratyahara means opposite, not giving up food for the senses. By not giving food for the senses, you are drying up the senses. When the inputs, the senses are like the inputs. Inputs are sending signal where? To memory, mind. When no more data is coming to the memory, memory will be not clogged. mind can be free. Memory is not overloaded. Pratyahara. Like that, one can stabilize the mind. After stabilizing the mind, you can start focusing the mind on something. That is called dharana. You know, in the childhood, in the physics, when we studied the lenses, convex lens, we took the convex lens, go outside, sunlight boom comes and falls in one place, and then when you focus it on the paper, boom, the fire starts. You know, that's parallel sun rays coming from all the way from sun, concentrates on the focal length, concentration. That process is called dharana. You, in the beginning stage of the yogi, will put a lamp and start focusing on the lamp, or put a black dot and start focusing on the black dot. This is called dharana. Then comes dhyana. Dhyana means what?
Meditation.
Meditation on the super soul in the heart. The word dhyana is not applicable to anybody else other than super soul in the heart. You can't say that I'm meditating on my work. That's not work. That's concentration, dharana. I say I'm meditating on in no personality. The word dhyana is not applicable for anybody other than super soul in the heart. If you are able to focus, give your attention on the super soul in the heart, that is called dhyana. When that attention, meditation, absorption on the super soul becomes uninterrupted, no heat, rain, cold, food, sleep, nothing can bother you, and it becomes uninterrupted he can stay for years being absorbed on the Paramatma in the heart. He doesn't need food, water, nothing. When that becomes uninterrupted, it becomes such absorbed steady state, that becomes samadhi. In the samadhi state, he can see Paramatma in the heart. In the Paramatma in the heart, when he sees, Paramatma is like size of a thumb in the heart. He is situated. After seeing the Paramatma, if that yogi is properly trained, he will understand that is Bhagavan. Along with him, I am also there as a Jivatma. What is the size of the Jivatma? 1/10,000th part of a tip of a hair. I am also there in the same heart, but I am tiny, I am not visible. Along there is Jivatma and Paramatma. Oh, Jivatma is supposed to serve the Paramatma. I am the Jivatma, Paramatma is in the heart. Let me start rendering loving devotional service unto him. He surrenders to the super soul and becomes a devotee at that time. He graduates at the time as a Bhakti Yogi. That is what Krishna tells in the last verse of 6th chapter. Yoginam api sarvesham madgadenandar atmana shraddavan bhajate yomam same yukta tamo mataka. Of all the yogis, the one who is always absorbed in me, the one who abides in me, the one who renders loving devotional service unto me with faith, such a yogi is the greatest of all the yogis. This is my opinion. Whose opinion? Krishna's opinion. Whose opinion matters in the topic of yoga? My opinion, your opinion, their opinion? Some upstart yogis who claims that I am this and I am that, who doesn't even have a guru? No. Krishna is Yogeshwara. He is the master of all the yogas. Krishna's opinion, Krishna's words are the last words in the topic of yoga. And Krishna's opinion is, of all the yogis, who is the topmost? Bhakti Yogi. So like that, Krishna gradually brings the topic of Karma Yoga, Jnana Yoga, Karma Sannyasa Yoga, Dhyana Yoga, and culmination of the Dhyana Yoga is into Bhakti. Arjuna is telling Krishna, whatever this process of Bhakti you had given me is not practical for me, because impossible to control the mind. Mind does easy journey to other planets. From one moment it can go to India and come back. I can control the raging wind with the help of weapons. He has astras to control raging wind. But I can't control my wavering mind. If Arjuna's situation is like this, what is our situation? Hopeless situation. Right?
That's true.
Krishna, tell me something practically which I can do. I am your devotee. I am already ready to do whatever you are telling me. Please tell me I can't do all this yoga, Baba. Tell me which I can do. Then Krishna reveals the middle 6 chapters of Bhagavad Gita called Bhakti Yoga section. Starting with 7th chapter called Knowledge of the Absolute. Jnana Vijnana Yoga. If you have to do bhakti, right? If you have to love something, there are 3 things are required. The object of the love, the lover, and the act of love. Like that, when we say bhakti, means 3 things are required. Bhagavan, Bhakta, and the act of bhakti. So, if you have to love someone, you need to know information about that person, right? You can't randomly love somebody. You need to know information about that person. If you want to know something about me, you can ask my friends. They will tell me something about me. If you ask my family members and wife, they will say something about me. If you ask my colleagues, they will say something about me. If you really want to know authoritative information about me, who should you ask to? Huh? Me. I am the right person to give information about me. Similarly, if you want to know about Krishna, who is the right person to give information about Krishna? Krishna only. That is what Krishna reveals in the middle 6 chapters of Bhagavad Gita. Knowledge about himself and how to perform bhakti to him. Starting with knowledge of the absolute truth, Jnana Vijnana Yoga. Knowing this knowledge, Krishna is telling in the 7th chapter, nothing else to be known. Mata Parataram Nanyat, there is no truth superior to me. Okay, Krishna is the supreme. Then how to obtain Krishna's world? Then Krishna gives how to attain his world. Akshara Brahma Yoga, 8th chapter. In that he tells how to get out of this material world. There is only one way to get out of the cycle of birth and death. Antakala chamam eva smaran mukta kalevaram yaprayati samadbhavam natyatra samshayaha. At the end of life, if you think of Krishna, you will go back to Krishna. What if I can't think of Krishna? What if I think about the money I saved in my locker or bank account? Krishna tells next verse, Yammam vapi smaran bhavam tajati ante kalevaram. Tam tam yavati kaunteya satatat bhava bhavitaha. He is telling, whatever you think at the time of death, you will come back to that stage only, that place only. If you think of the money in the locker, you will come back to that house. If you don't have enough credit to become a human birth, you will become a cockroach. Or some animal or something, mosquito or something, will be roaming around, the cockroach will roaming around your locker.
All the insects or animal in our house somehow we let it
You
go.
don't know. Anything is possible. Anything is possible. They are not accidentally coming to your home. There's all connection. We think that because we don't understand, we think that it's all random.
Random, yeah.
In the will of the Lord, in the plan of the Lord, everything is nicely orchestrated. He has a detailed project plan which Microsoft project can't handle. No Excel spreadsheet, no database, no Oracle, no SQL Server can handle. No cloud infrastructure can host all this complex analysis. No amount of ChatGPT can understand these things. Huh? So, if you attain Krishna's world, What will you do there? Ananya Bhakti. That is in the 9th chapter. Raja Vidya, Raja Guhya Yoga. The most confidential. The king of all knowledge is Ananya Bhakti. Okay, Bhakti. Krishna is telling, Manmana Bhava Mat Bhakto Matyajimam Namaskuru. Mam Yevashi Yuktavam Atmana Matparayana. The last verse in the 9th chapter, 9:34, he gives. Okay, you are telling Krishna, I have to always think of you, Tiramuma, always be absorbed in you. I am living in this world, I don't see you everywhere, you had gone already. How to perceive Krishna and everything in this world? Vibhuti Yoga, 10th chapter. Then Krishna, Arjuna is asking Krishna, everything is because this thing, because of you, because of your energy. How do you do that? You are there in the spiritual world, you are there in everyone's heart, you are sustaining everything. How is it possible? Can you show me a little bit? That Vishwarupa Yoga Krishna shows. The 11th chapter. After doing all these things, 12 chapters is Bhakti, perform Bhakti. How to perform properly, different levels of Bhakti in the 12th chapter. Gita is over by 12th chapter. If Bhakti is the last word, Gita should be over by 12th chapter. Bhakti Yoga. Yes, these are all correct. We understood Krishna. I am Jivatma. He is like supreme. Part of the purpose of the part is to serve the whole. We are all part and parcel of Krishna. Our job is to please him and serve him. But still, I have mortgage to pay. I have to go to work. I have to answer my, I'm getting paycheck. I have to answer, I have to do my project, whatever my manager gives. Now, how to do it? Because if you, after understanding all this knowledge, if you do things which are unfavorable to Bhakti, it will take you in the opposite direction. One part of the process of surrender is Anukulyasya Sankalpa Pratikulyasya Varjanam. Accepting things which are favorable to Bhakti, rejecting things which are unfavorable to Bhakti. These are the first two steps in surrendering to Krishna. In order to know which is favorable to Bhakti, which is unfavorable to Bhakti, still I have to live in this world. For that you need to understand how this world is functioning. The inner workings of this material energy, starting with the three modes and all the jivas conditioned in this world, and then different types of faiths, and all of them, Krishna elaborates in the last 6 chapters of Bhagavad Gita, called Jnana Yoga section. Jnana means how this material world is functioning, so that you associate yourself with a mode of goodness, so that accept things which are favorable to Bhakti and reject things which are unfavorable to Bhakti. That analysis Krishna gives in the last 6 chapters of Bhagavad Gita. That is why it's called Jnana Yoga section. Now, we did all the big picture. Huh? You understood why Bhagavad Gita is from the Shruti Prasthana, Nyaya Prasthana, right? Smriti Prasthana, Bhagavad Gita, Vedanta. Now you understood the importance of Bhagavad Gita, which you had all been studying. You understood, you are already practicing Bhakti. You understood because Bhakti is the process. In this context, Arjuna's question, application question, starts the 3rd chapter. Which verse you are in 3rd chapter now?
Which verse?
29.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's go there. 29th. We'll cover a couple of verses and then we'll close.
Yeah. And we can take some Q&A. Somebody
Yes.
has questions.
Yes. What verse you cover? 29, huh?
Yeah.
What did you cover?
That's what they are saying. Let me look up.
Guruji doesn't have confidence.
Prakritir guna sammuda sajjante guna karmasu thana krutsna vidva mandan krishna vinna vichalayet. Yeah.
That's what you covered.
Yes.
Okay, 30.
We can study 30 today. Yes.
Yes. Oh, it's a nice verse.
Yeah, it's one of the important shlokas.
Yeah. Mai sarvani karmani. You can repeat after him. Mai sarvani karmani.
Mai sarvani karmani.
Sannyasyatyatma chetasa.
Sannyasyatyatma chetasa.
Nirasi nirmamo bhutva.
Nirashe nirmamo bhutva.
Yudhyasva vigata javarha.
Yudhyasva vigata jvaraha.
Mai sarvani karmani.
Mai sarvani karmani.
Sannyasyatyatma chetasa.
Sannyasyatyatma chetasa.
Nirasi nirmamo bhutva.
Nirashe nirmamo bhutva.
Yudhyasva vigata javarha.
Yudhyasva vigata jvaraha.
Mai sarvani karmani.
Mai sarvani karmani.
Sannyasyatyatma chetasa.
Sannyasyatyatma chetasa.
Nirasi nirmamo bhutva.
Nirashe nirmamo bhutva.
Yudhyasva vigata javarha.
Yudhyasva vigata jvaraha.
Word by word meaning Mayi, unto me, Sarvani, all sorts of, Karmani, activities, Sanyasya, giving up completely, Adhyatma, full knowledge of the self, Chetasa, consciousness, Nirasihi, without desire for profit, Nirmamaha, without ownership, Bhutva, so being, Yudhyasva, fight, Vigata jvaraha, without being lethargic. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Translation. Therefore, O Arjuna, surrendering all works unto me, with full knowledge of me, without desires for profit, with no claims to proprietorship, and free from lethargy, fight. Purport. This verse clearly indicates the purpose of the Bhagavad Gita. The Lord instructs that one has to become fully Krishna conscious to discharge duties as if in military discipline. Such an injunction may make things a little difficult. Nevertheless, duties must be carried out with dependence on Krishna, because that is the constitutional position of the living entity. What is the constitutional position of the living entity? Is to serve Krishna. The word dharma means what? Sanskrit, the word dharma, and people will translate into many things. Religion, righteousness, like that. There are many meanings are there. There is no equivalent word for dharma in English. Dharma means the intrinsic, inseparable characteristic of something is called dharma. The intrinsic, inseparable characteristic of something is called dharma. For example, what is the dharma of the water? To be liquid. If the water, if you increase the temperature, it becomes gas, it is not water, it becomes steam. If you decrease the temperature, it becomes ice. It's not anymore water, it becomes ice. Dharma of the water is to be always liquid, fluidity, right? What is dharma of the fire? To give light and heat. What is dharma of the sugar? To be sweet. Similarly, dharma of the soul is to serve, to love and to be loved. To serve the Supreme is dharma of the soul. That is called Sanatana Dharma. Sanatana means what? Eternal. Eternal. What is eternal in this world? Everything is temporary, Baba. There is only one thing is eternal. What is it? The soul. The duty of the soul, the intrinsic characteristics of the soul is called Sanatana Dharma. What is that? To serve the Supreme. To serve. We are always serving. As an employee of the company, I am serving. As a head of the household, I am serving. As a son and a daughter, I am serving. As a community member, I am serving. We are always serving, which we don't know. If nobody is there, people get a dog and serve the dog. Right? We are always serving. We can't be without service. That is the nature of the jiva. If we take away the object of the service, we suffer. This is the material service. When we direct our service propensity with the Supreme Absolute, our service becomes eternal, our happiness also becomes eternal. That's called Sanatana Dharma. So the dharma of the soul is to serve. That is our constitutional position. That's what Prabhupada is telling. Nevertheless, duties must be carried out with the dependence on Krishna, because that is the constitutional position of the living entity. The living entity cannot be happy independent of the cooperation of the Supreme Lord, because the eternal constitutional position of the living entity is to become subordinate to the desires of the Lord. Arjuna was therefore ordered by Sri Krishna to fight as if the Lord were his military commander. One has to sacrifice everything for the good will of the Supreme Lord, and at the same time discharge prescribed duties without claiming proprietorship. Here Prabhupada is giving just very such a clear instruction for people in the household life. Because in the household life only easily this proprietorship mindset will come. Because we all live in our own Brahmanda. Every house is like a Brahmanda. We have our own creation, own setup. Right? Every Grihastha acts like a Brahma, in that Brahmanda.
Every house is a Brahmanda.
I have my own creation, own planetary systems. Right? So the instruction is you have to do all these duties. You cannot walk away from your family life, but do it without proprietorship. I am that proprietorship. I am the owner of this. I am this. You are my wife. You are my son. You are my child. You got to listen what I say. Right? This is the one which will take us away from Krishna. Nirmamo nirahankaraha. Right? Arjuna did not have to consider the order of the Lord. He had only to execute his order without personal consideration. Sorry. The Supreme Lord is the soul of all souls. Therefore, one who depends solely and wholly on the Supreme Soul without personal consideration, or in other words, one who is fully Krishna conscious, is called Adhyatma Chetas. Nirasihi means that one has to act on the order of the master but should not expect fruitive results. The cashier may count millions of dollars for his employer, but he does not claim a cent for himself. Similarly, one has to realize that nothing in the world belongs to any individual person, but that everything belongs to the Supreme Lord. You will see that in the 5th chapter later, Krishna will tell, last verse, 29th verse, Bhoktaram Yajya Tapasam Sarva Loka Maheshwaram Sukurdam Sarva Bhutanam Nyatma Mam Shantim Rachati. That verse, whatever Krishna is going to tell later, Prabhupada is quoting in the purport here. Krishna is the proprietor of everything. Every line of Prabhupada's purport is not his own words. He is not pulling out of these words through his hat. He is actually quoting what Krishna is going to tell so that you can understand it here only. Every line of Prabhupada's purport is either directly Shastra coming from Bhagavatam or Bhagavad Gita or Upanishads or Vedas somewhere, or writings of the previous Acharyas. That's what Prabhupada had given that nicely. You would understand the importance of studying Bhakti Vedanta purport. The cashier may, Realize that nothing belongs to me, but everything belongs to the Supreme Lord. That is the real purport of Mahi, or unto me. And when one acts in such Krishna consciousness, certainly he does not claim proprietorship over anything. This consciousness is called Nirmama, or nothing is mine. And if there is anything, if there is any reluctance to execute such a stern order, which is without consideration of so-called kinsmen in the bodily relationship, that reluctance should be thrown off. In this way, one may become Vigata Jvara, or without feverish mentality or lethargy. Everyone, according to his quality and position, has a particular type of work to discharge, and all such duties may be discharged in Krishna consciousness as described above. How? Nirmama Niragankaraha. Nothing belongs to me. I am not the owner of anything. Everything belongs to Krishna. I am just a servant of Krishna. I am just a caretaker of Krishna's property. Like how the cashier is taking care of the cash box on behalf of the proprietor, he can't take 1 cent out of it. If he takes 1 cent out of it, who will catch? The police will put him in jail. He will be called as a thief. Like that, one should execute our duties. Everyone, according to his qualities and position, has a particular type of work to discharge, and all such duties may be discharged in Krishna consciousness as described above. That will lead one to the path of liberation. I think we will stop here.
Yeah, we can
I
take.
think our attention span cannot go beyond this.
We can take some
Because I
Q&A.
think I covered so many things. You try to. There are 4 stages in learning. The first stage is when we listen from somebody. You learn 25%. Whatever I spoke, you learned only 25%. The second stage in learning is when you put your end aware, you try to analyze further, you took notes and everything, you try to remember later what this means, you try to study further, you make your own end aware, you will learn another 25%. Now, when you discuss with your friends, people, cohorts or co-students, from your peers, you will learn another 25%. Oh, this is how he understood. Oh, this is how we should understand this. Like that. The remaining 25%, life will teach you to experience. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Any
Hare
comment,
Krishna.
question, any discussion, any reflections? Please let me know. Yes, Mataji.
I have the same question, Yashodhamana.
Yes, Mataji.
How we will understand that we are progressing in our life, what we are reading, understanding, how do we understand that we are applying it?
So this devotional service needs to be discharged under the supervision of the spiritual masters representatives. Devotional service is not discharged independently. Number 1. So because of that supervision, devotees tell, okay, people do like this, do like that. How we know whether we are making progress in the devotional service? It's very simple. How do you know when you eat food you are getting nourished or not?
Healthy body.
Healthy body. You will feel energetic. No? Similarly, what is the fever we all have? Material desires, material attachment. The fever of material enjoyment, sense gratification. If you are taking the medicine is working, the fever should come down. Then you know the medicine is working. If my material attachments is coming down, if my attachment to Krishna is increasing, that means you are making progress. It's very simple. We don't need anybody. Of course, in practice, taking the help of the devotees who are, little experienced in handling the situations in the life, it will be helpful so that we don't have to reinvent the wheel, certain things. You take guidance. They can help you. Okay, Mataji, I think you should do this. It will help. But for that, there need to be a relationship. People can't just come and say, do like this, like this, like this. There should be a relationship. They should understand, okay, you have children at this age, this situation at home, maybe this might be able to help, It's not everybody can be same because some children are out in college, some middle school, some children are like small. Accordingly, the instruction has to be different. So for that, it requires some little experience and little intelligence. But you will know, as I said, nobody has to tell you whether you're advancing in bhakti. How when you eat food, does anybody has to come and tell, Mama, you are, no. So when you study Bhagavad Gita, apply in your life, whether by your devotional service you are making progress or not, you will know. You will understand things properly. Oh, Krishna is very kind to me. Your intelligence will become more and more in appreciating Krishna's mercy. Oh, the Lord is so kind. He is so much things He is providing me. So much help He is giving me for me to make advancement. Like that. Is that okay?
Yeah, but there is always a conflict going inside.
Like
as we know more, we always think we are doing so less.
Yes. That is the right mood. That we are doing very little. Because if the moment you think that I am doing so much, complacency will come. Vigatachvara will come. You have to give up that feverish mentality. So that stand up and fight with enthusiasm. But of course, we all have a limitation. We all have different situations in life. It's not a sentimental affair. It is intelligently done. So that at this stage of life, my attention goes here this much. So Krishna understands. Now do everything in connection to Krishna. That way everything becomes Krishna conscious.
That's a very good point, Prabhu.
Yes.
It's not a sentimental affair.
It is not like one thing fits all. Different shlokas for different folks. Different shloks for different folks. because we are in different stages of life. But the goal is one, attaining service of Krishna. But how we get there, the path of bhakti, everything is same. Following the four regulative principle, chanting. But in terms of how much service you can do, what you can do, how everything depends, personal particular situation. Okay? Hare Krishna. Yes, Mataji.
You mentioned that there are, at some point, Arjuna also has doing that much bhakti, my mind wanders everywhere and I cannot do it. So then Krishna says, I still have mortgage to pay and all that stuff, right? So how do we know what are the acts that pull me towards bhakti in this material world also? I have to still live and function and perform. Correct. And do my duties and still connect that to bhakti.
That's what Krishna, that's the whole instruction is today's verses, that's what's only. Whatever prescribed duty according to your body, as a mother, as an employee, as a house owner, whatever you got to do with the understanding that I am not the owner, Krishna is the owner. I am just a caretaker. This child, that's your child, no? This child is not, even though it had come through my body, this child is Krishna, part of Krishna. The Atma within the body of the child does not belong to you. If you take every Atma, you put a zoom lens and zoom in and check, look at it, you know what's written there? It's not made in China. It's not made for each other. It is made for Krishna. Every soul, what is written there? Made for Krishna, but that means it's all part and parcel of Krishna. That particular precious soul of Krishna, because of past activities and whatnot, it needs to take birth in a particular family situation, in a particular life like this. So that Atma was carried through the seed, through your husband, was placed in your womb. And it developed a particular body according to its past karma. All these things will come in the 13th chapter. How the soul develops inside. So, even though it came out of my body, this is not my child. This is Krishna's child. I am a caretaker. I am taking care, and my job is to take care of the child properly. That way I am serving Krishna. That way you are becoming Krishna conscious. Make sense? So Arjuna did not say that it's not too much bhakti I can't do. Arjuna said all this yoga process, all these things you are doing is not practical for me. I want to do only bhakti. Bhakti is the easiest and straightforward way of attaining Krishna. All other process is like going through the hoops. If there is 100 floors or in a big building, 100th floor you have to reach. The builder of the building had given staircase. You can go one by one, you can reach on the top. It might take, depending on how much strong you are, it might take few minutes, few hours, few days, or in the middle, in the 20th floor, I might break my leg and I might get stuck there for 1 month. It may take several lifetimes to reach the top. Like that, yoga is like that, whatever Krishna is telling. After Bhagunam Janmanam Ante, finally you can come. But the same building provider also had given an elevator. Go there. That is the middle 6 chapters of Bhagavad Gita called Krishna consciousness, direct path of bhakti. It's very simple. Follow the 4 regulatory principles. Chant Hare Krishna. Take care of your family. Nicely cook stuff. Offer to Krishna. Take care of your child. Feed your husband. Go to work. Pay your bills. But everything in connection to Krishna. Nothing needs to change in your world. Only one thing needs to change is the consciousness. Nirmamo nirahankaraha. If you add that thing, I am not the proprietor, I am not the enjoyer. Everything belongs to Krishna. You will be peaceful. You will realize. You will make advancement. Then, that even though might be doing out of duty in the beginning, then you will start doing out of love for Krishna. So we all do things motivated by fear, motivated by duty, and motivated by love. The motivated by love with no reason. That's what Brajabasis do. Why they love Krishna? Not because he is God. No. They love Krishna simply they love Krishna. There's no reason for it. They don't even know that Krishna is God. They don't want to know Krishna is God. That is a separate mode. That is a very advanced stage. That is our goal. At this stage, we see Krishna with awe and reverence only. So that we don't take it cheaply. Okay? Any other? Yes.
There's one question online.
Yes.
One second. Yeah. Ashok? Ashok, you had a question?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Yeah. So I had one question to.
Yes.
Actually, I want to suggest one thing.
Yes.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, please accept my humble obeisances.
Uh-huh.
Actually, my ISKCON journey started with your Discover Yourself program during pandemic time, Prabhuji.
He's the one who moved to Texas. I told you, right?
Krishna. Thank you.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Thank you for joining.
So
Yes,
I have one question, Prabhuji. So from Bhagavad Gita, right? In in the verse 6.46, Tapasvi Bidiko Yogi Gnanipyogi Mathodika Karmibhyascha Chadiko Yogi Tasmat Yogi Bhavarjana. So from what would be a yogi? Say, is someone who has that Sthita Prajna qualities can be called as a yogi?
Yes.
Or
See, ultimately
means
the definition is the one who knows how to balance between work, right, eating, and recreation. He will be able to perform yoga. Yogi means who knows how to connect everything to Krishna is a yogi. Yogi means one who performs yoga. What is yoga? Linking our consciousness with Krishna's consciousness. What does it mean? Running a cable from here to Goloka or what? Some fiber optic cable? No. Meaning becoming one in purpose. Linking our consciousness to Krishna's consciousness means doing what Krishna wants us to do. Becoming one in what does Krishna want to do? What is Krishna's desire? Krishna's desire is he wants everybody to come back to spiritual world. He wants everybody to be happy. So that is what Krishna wants. Service means not that what I can do. If I have something excess when I give away, it is called charity. Seva means even if I don't have it, if that is the need, I make an endeavor to fulfill that, that is called seva. Service means what Krishna wants. What Krishna wants. He doesn't want anything from this world. Only one thing he wants. He wants to reclaim all the jivas back to the spiritual world. That is the only interest Krishna has in the material world. That's the only want of Krishna. That means the only service left here is to help people to go back to Godhead. That is the only service left in this world. That is what only interest Krishna has. If you are facilitating some way or the other, helping people, helping your family members, helping your children, helping your neighbors, helping your friends, without even speaking one word, you can help everybody to come to Krishna, by the way. You don't have to do any preaching to anybody. Just by your own behavior, by your exemplary behavior, by your exemplary Krishna consciousness, you can inspire others to take up Krishna consciousness without even uttering one word. That is the best service you can do to Krishna. All the other services are all to assist this service. The primary service is to help everybody to go back to Krishna, because that's the only want Krishna has. All other things, doing Anandamela, running the temple, right, having deities, everything is to assist this service to Krishna. Okay? Okay, Prabhuji?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank you, Prabhuji.
One who knows how to connect everything to Krishna with keeping Krishna as the goal of life. Just before the last verse, in the 46th verse, Krishna tells, become a yogi. Of all the yogis, of course, the one who connects through work is a karma yogi. One who connects through knowledge is a jnana yogi. One who connects through meditation and the Paramatma is a dhyana yogi. Of all these yogis, the topmost yogis, one who becomes bhakti yogi, a lover of Krishna. Yoga system means any yoga system has to address these 5 things: work, knowledge, renunciation, meditation, and devotion. Karma yoga focuses mostly on work, some knowledge, maybe an advanced stage, some renunciation, but not much meditation, not much devotion. In the Jnana Yoga, less work, more renunciation, more knowledge, some meditation, little devotion. For a Dhyana Yogi, there is almost no work, some renunciation, more meditation, some knowledge, and some devotion. only in Bhakti Yoga. Work, knowledge, meditation, renunciation, meditation and devotion, all of them are nicely balanced. The example I always give is, if there is a teenage boy falls in love with a teenage girl, he will do anything and everything to please her. That is work. He will give up anything she doesn't like. If she doesn't like yellow, he will not buy a yellow t-shirt. That is renunciation. He will know everything about her, where she lives, what she likes, what her routine is, everything about her. That is knowledge. He will be always meditating on her, thinking and sleeping on the bed and meditating. What my beloved will be doing now. Always meditating on her. That is meditation. And then he will dedicate his entire life for her. That is devotion. That's what love means. Bhakti Yoga has all these 5 elements in full. Because we are willing anything and everything to please Krishna, to work. We develop knowledge about Krishna, that is knowledge. Whatever Krishna doesn't want us to do, we give it up. That is renunciation. Right? We are always meditating on Krishna. Meditation. Then we devote our life for Krishna's cause. That is devotion. Okay, Prabhu?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Yes, Prabhuji. Yes.
Yeah, Hare Krishna. Prabhuji.
Yes, Prabhuji. What's your name, Prabhu?
Nilachal Chandra.
Yes.
I'll try if I can frame my question.
Yeah, that's all. Try. I'll also try to understand.
I think it's more about, yes, I think there are slokas in which it's said that, hey, Krishna asks us to think that, hey, he is the supreme controller. But we are not at a stage where we still believe that. Like, believe means we've heard it, but we have not applied it. We still try to exercise certain control, and that basically drives our decision that we make towards our family, our work, and so forth. As we are making progress on bhakti, there's always this anxiety, right? Are you moving too fast, or are you moving too slow, right? Like I just heard that, hey, we are doing very less, we should be doing more, but sometimes there is this anxiety that, hey, maybe we are moving too fast, and maybe we will just fall flat on our face, right? Like, because we have not reached
Got it. Understood.
that level of let's say visibility or appreciation of what we are doing. So how to
Balance.
how to manage this, right? So if you want to just comment something on that.
Yeah, that's correct. See, like this, you have to understand. See, as I said, right, we are all in different stages of life. You need to understand what's your primary duty as a father, as a husband, as an employee. You all have responsibility through the body, right? You all had made certain commitment in this world, and that is disturbed. You will not be able to practice anything. That needs to be maintained. But that's what Krishna gives an example, like in the 3rd chapter only, I think it gives. 2nd chapter, I think. We have to live in this world like a lotus. Lotus stays in the water, but water does not touch. We have to do sincerely all our duties. But internally, you should be always thinking about Krishna, how I can become more attachment towards Krishna. That's the principle. But all our activities which is connected externally, some of them might be directly to Krishna, some of them might be indirectly to Krishna. As I said, we are doing always less. That means, it means that out of gratitude, how much more we do, we feel the received knowledge we received, the mercy we received from Krishna, the mercy we received from the Guru is not repayable. We have to always remain indebted. Then only we can remain grateful. If you are not grateful, in the heart where there is no gratitude and there is no humility, bhakti will not flourish. The reason why we are saying that always more to be done, you have to understand, but also you have to put your best effort and do what you can. Some amount of anxiety is okay. Anxiety is like salt. Stress is like salt in the food. If there is too much, you can't eat it. If too less, it is tasteless, you can't eat it. If there is no stress in our life, we will all become lazy. If there is too much stress in our life, we will all become crazy. You need to know how to. You can't get rid of stress. You can only manage. You need to manage. If you feel stressed that, oh, I'm doing too much, take a look at it. Look at your 24 hours of the day. How much actually, find out in major chunk, which amount of, which percentage of time goes for what. Then you will know whether you're doing too much or too less. Understood? Make sense what I said?
Yes,
Too slow to pause.
See, also, somebody who had taken up Krishna consciousness 1 year before, I might be doing like 20 years. That person might be advancing faster than me. Because he might be continuing from the previous life. You need to know yourself what you are capable of. And then that is always needs to be done in association of devotees, mentors. Then Prabhuji, I think, you are already having a lot of services you are doing, even the family and situation and everything. Now also give attention to what needs to be done at work and different situation. There's no balancing is the most key word. Yogi means one who knows how to balance between everything.
yes.
And devotee means who knows how to connect everything back to Krishna.
Yes, so that's where that balance is like. It's very.
So if you know how to connect everything with Krishna, then everything is service to Krishna only. There is nothing called too much or too less. You have to eat food, you have to work, you have to take care, you have to clean your home. All of them you do it as a devotional service. Then there is no anxiety. It's consciousness of the performer. In that mood of service attitude, if you keep everything that I am serving Krishna in this way, then that will give more inspiration. And as we chant, then we will know that actually what I received is not, I can't even comprehend what I received. What have been given to us. In the golden plate we have been offered this, we don't even know what it is. If you give a valuable necklace to a monkey, he'll bite it and throw it, right? He doesn't know anything about it. That's what you will realize over a period of time, what have been offered. This bhakti, this is what bhakti, this is what Krishna had given, this is what Guru had given to us. We don't even know what we have received, by the way. Most of the time we don't even know. As we progress, we will realize that, wow, what have been given, I don't deserve it. I was not even looking for this, but it have been given to me. Costless mercy of Mahaprabhu. I was not looking for love of Krishna when I came to ISKCON. Nobody comes to Krishna looking for love of Krishna. Very few. Krishna tells in 7th chapter, he will tell the 4 type of people approach Krishna. Artho, Artharthi, Jnanasu, Jnani. In Kali Yuga, Artho, and Artho. Distressed, more distressed, and most distressed. They all come to Krishna. If somebody is looking for Artha, right, he will go to some other devata. You will not come to Krishna. Jnani, Jnyasu, nobody is curious. Curious means they will go to chat GPT. Right? Jnani, one speaking absolute truth, nobody is there. It's all failed students. Kali Yuga means very rare. Everybody is distressed. The product what ISKCON is giving, nobody is looking for in this world. What is product ISKCON is giving? Love for Krishna, pure, unalloyed, unadulterated love for Krishna that no one is looking for. After some time, you will discover, oh, this is what it's giving. Oh, then come here. Wow, what a fortune I haven't had over this. Okay? Hare Krishna. Yes, I will come to you. I will come to you.
Does japa and meditating on Krishna melts our karma?
Well, we don't do any of these things to reduce our karma, but it's a byproduct. When we develop love for Krishna, when we do all our activity in connection to Krishna, those activities are called karma to please Krishna. Akarma does one thing. First thing is it does not produce any future karma. Second thing it does is it burns all your stockpile of both punya and papa. Did you never know that your punya is also being taken away? Because as long as punya and papa, both of them are there, we can't go back to spiritual world. They say, when you go to Ganges, Ganga, if you take snana in Ganga, you will get rid of all your sins. But if you go to Yamuna and take bath, you will get rid of both your sins and punya. Papa and punya, both of them will be washed. You will develop love for Krishna. This is what you signed up.
People only ask, by doing japa, can my papa karma go?
That is actually,
But the moment you
like
say,
that,
punya karma will
if
also
you are
go.
doing like that, that is one of the offenses towards the holy name. One should not think that chanting will take away by my sinful activities. That is one of the offenses towards the holy name. We are chanting holy name to develop love for Krishna. That's it. All the other things are byproducts. Everything will be automatically taken care of. We are not interested in all these things. We are interested in love for Krishna. The love for Krishna will take care of everything. Of course, the karma is a long, very deep topic. You should be very careful. Especially after initiation. Because at the time of initiation, the Guru takes up all the karma. Only a trace of karma is left. Our prarabdha karma is left so that our body can continue. So that we can serve. Our karma is put on hold. A trace, both prarabdha, aprarabdha, bicha, kuta, all of them are destroyed. Both sanchita, kriyamana and prarabdha, everything is destroyed by bhakti. Only bhakti can destroy all the karmas. No other thing can, including your prarabdha karma. All the other paths, they can relieve you from sanchita karma. They can relieve you from kriyamana karma. But your prarabdha karma, you have to live through end of the life. Whereas in bhakti, even your prarabdha karma is also removed. But only a trace is left. A wafer thin layer is left so that we can continue in this body. Because even that is also removed at the time of initiation. Immediately what will happen? The soul will depart to spiritual world. So some karma is left, some prarabdha karma. Otherwise, all your karma is taken away already at the time of initiation by the mercy of the spiritual master. Now, after initiation, what we perform, we can accumulate new karma. If those activities are not connected to Ananya Bhakti, then we are accumulating new karma. That we need to be very careful. What activities we are performing after initiation. I was supposed to give a detailed session on karma. So, but
Yeah, we can plan for that in the temple sometime. Yeah.
That will help us.
Yeah.
Yes. Prabhuji? Yes. Is it okay, Mataji?
Yeah.
Yes.
So, like Hare Krishna, so says Vyasa concluded the into sutras, right? Finally,
Vedas
after
sutras.
reading, after reading all Upanishads, Vedas, and everything. So, is that sutras contains the Bhagavad Gita verses also?
No, I told you, na, Bhagavad Gita sutras are aphorisms. The knowledge of Bhagavad Gita you will see. You have to expand it because those sutra means what?
Okay, a small sentence.
Small aphorisms.
But the meaning is.
Meaning will be able to expand if you are expert in understanding the sutras. If you study with a guy with a darshana of an acharya, different acharyas have written commentary on various Vedanta sutras. Shankaracharya have written Sharirika Bhashya, Ramanacharya have written Shiv Bhashya, Madhvacharya have written Tattvavada Bhashya. Like that, in the Gaudiya Vaishnava Sampradaya, Baladev Vidyabhushan have written something called Govinda Bhashya. When you read with the help of Govinda Bhashya, then you will see, wow, this verse, this connects directly to Gita. This verse directly connects to Bhagavatam. Like that, you will be able to see the connection.
So then, why not we read these sutras instead of
I said, that is meant for intellectuals. I am not. I am a fool, Baba. Maybe you can.
No, the translation commentary also is there, right, for those sutras.
So there is no need of doing that separately. We read Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavatam. That is sufficient. As I said, that is for those class of people inclined. For them to come to Bhakti, we need it. We are directly understanding Gita. Those are all indirect. You understood?
Yeah. But I'm thinking like maybe the sutras has more knowledge than compared to Gita.
I said Krishna is telling there is nothing superior than what I am telling you. Krishna is telling the 7th chapter, 2nd verse. Now I am telling this knowledge of this phenomenal world, knowledge beyond numinous knowledge and phenomenal knowledge. By knowing this, there is nothing else to be known. If people want to do that, you can. It is like this. Like this, Krishna is giving direct. That means still we don't have faith in Krishna. Understood? Still that means there is something is inkling. Maybe Krishna is not what he is. Maybe it's a little. That the trace of that envy of Krishna will make us to block the faith in words of Krishna. That is why Prabhupada says in the introduction to Bhagavad Gita, what is he saying? At least one should theoretically accept Krishna as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Then you study Bhagavad Gita, then you will understand. Otherwise, Bhagavad Gita has no value. Because later also Bhagavad Gita, Krishna tells in the 18th chapter, this knowledge, confidential knowledge, whatever I have given, it should not be spoken in public. It should not be spoken among envious people, demonic people, like that. So many conditions here. Who can discuss Bhagavad Gita? But we are giving Bhagavad Gita freely distributing in the street. We have on the internet. If you go to vedabase.com, full Bhagavad Gita is there available for everybody. Are we violating Krishna's words? Yes. No. Yes means yes, we should not be given, but the devotees are taking a chance because they know ultimately what Krishna wants everybody to come back to the world. And Krishna cannot do this himself because he has to be impartial. So the devotees knows the internal desire of Krishna, that Krishna, even though this knowledge cannot be given directly to everybody, the devotees take a chance that maybe this living entity will get benefit and come back to Krishna. Now, how we are not violating by putting this word Prabhupada in the introduction? At least one should theoretically accept Krishna as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. By putting that word, Prabhupada is not violating Krishna's words. When you study introduction, at least you should accept theoretically Krishna as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Then you study Gita, then Gita will have a value. Otherwise, you will not have value. Otherwise, we'll keep searching. Maybe if there is something better, you can try. That's why Krishna says, Bhaganam, Janmanam, Mati. After studying all these things, where you will come back?
Vasudeva Sarvamiti.
Vasudeva Sarvamiti. We can study all those things. It's there, available. Govinda Bhasha is there. But if you read it, then you will understand, this is beyond my capacity. That doesn't mean that the knowledge there is superior. It is complex. It's like this. Is it eating is like this easier?
No.
What is the easiest form? Directly and food. That's what Krishna is telling. You can study. Then you can read something for sample to understand. Okay. This is there in Gita. This is fine. Okay? Gita is undisputed. Nobody can dispute the authenticity and supremacy of Bhagavad Gita. This is a simple and straightforward answer. The Vedanta Sutra is meant for those super intellectuals. They want to carry all the Vedic knowledge in a folder. Those verses, those sutras are like folders. When you take that folder, then you can get the full knowledge. You understood? But you should know how to expand it. But the same thing Krishna is telling directly.
So first you need to learn Sanskrit for 12 years and then try to understand those.
No, I was thinking if there is some more extra knowledge.
No.
Because they compose many
The
years.
extra knowledge is in Bhagavad
There is
Gita.
no more extra
This is
knowledge.
super
Ultimately, all the extra knowledge culminates in the extra. We are giving extra only.
Yeah, Bhagavad Gita already
This
is
is the
giving extra.
topmost.
Yeah.
The 9th chapter is the most confident. Raja Vidya Raja Guyam Pavitram Idavuttamam Pratyaksha Vagam Dhamim Susukum Kartum Avyam. This is the king of all knowledge. What is the king of all knowledge? Bhagavad Gita Bhakti. You can go and study, will be indirectly like this will be going, oh, why it is like that? Because those people can only go through like that. Because it takes several lifetimes to understand this. You can read, it's there, all the Vedanta Sutras are there. I was telling, na? Atato Brahma Jignasa, right? Janmadi Yashayataha, Shastra Yonidut Tatu Samanyavat. Like that it is there. But these are all like small crypts. You will not see direct words of Krishna. Because it's intact. Because direct words of Krishna is telling, because the why we say the purpose of Vedas to its know its purpose, these are all indirect. That is why after compiling all these things, after writing all the Vedas, all the Upanishads, all the Puranas, everything, right? Veda Vyas was dissatisfied. Dissatisfied. If you do good work, you should feel satisfied in the heart, right? Why? If you are doing good work, then Krishna is pleased in the heart as Paramatma, then you will feel satisfied. But Vedavyas is not satisfied after doing all the Vedas, dividing the Vedas, compiling the Puranas, Itihasas, everything, Vedanta Sutra, still he was dissatisfied in the heart. If there is a problem, an expert has to come and fix it. If there is a problem of satisfaction in the heart, who can fix it? Only the spiritual master. Who comes at the time? In the bank of Saraswati river, when Vedavyasa was thinking, why am I feeling dissatisfied? Who appeared there? Narada Muni, the spiritual master of Vedavyas. Then he asked the question, oh my dear master, What is the cause of my dissatisfaction? I have done all this work of compiling the Vedas for the welfare of humankind. Still, I am not feeling satisfied in the heart. What is the cause of it? Vedavyas, he says, Narada Muni says, Vedavyas, O Vyasadev, you are the right person to do all this work. You are well qualified. You did everything nicely. But all the work you have done, it is all, it's like a place of pilgrimage for crows. It's a place of pilgrimage for crows. Where does the crow go for pilgrimage? Garbage. He is saying whatever you have, I am not saying. Narada Muni is telling whatever you have written, everything is garbage only. Because you got done by doing all this Vedas, everything, to all the sacrifice, everything, you got given a license for people to do sense gratification on the name of Vedas. It is all like, I am not saying it's there, the words are in Bhagavatam. It is like a place of pilgrimage for crows. That literature which does not exclusively describes the glories of the Lord and his activities and his devotees is nothing but a place of pilgrimage for the crows. Now, hence, that is the cause of your dissatisfaction. Now, you sit. I am giving you the seed, the original seed of the 4 shlokas of Bhagavatam. Now take this seed and meditate and write a literature which exclusively glorifies the Lord and the interaction between the Lord and his pure devotees. Then he compiles Srimad Bhagavatam. There is no difference between Bhagavatam and Bhagavad Gita, as I said. Bhagavad Gita is just principles. Bhagavatam is principles in action, the case studies. Because Bhagavad Gita is also part of Mahabharata. Mahabharata is like so many family stories, so many things are there. It can get lost somewhere. Some portions only Bhagavad Gita. No? Bhagavad Gita is not a separate book. Because Acharyas have extracted it. Because Mahabharata is 18 parvas. 18 parvas has like 1,25,000 shlokas. Out of that 700 shlokas only is Bhagavad Gita, by the way. 18 chapters only. Somebody has to extract, otherwise somebody who reads Mahabharata, they'll be going here and there everywhere. Understood, no?
Yeah, now understood.
You can study Vedanta Sutra, you will come to a conclusion. You study, I will give you the Vedanta Sutra. I have the books. You study, you will understand that these are all, because we study with Govinda Bhashya Acharya commentary, then you will be able to grasp it. Otherwise, you will be finished. If you read some other Vedanta Sutra commentaries, you will go everywhere. You will become Bhagunam, Janmanam, Ante, after many lives, you will come back here. I'm not, that's for Krishna's words. Now, if that faith is not there, we should engage in seva. People who have faith already in Bhagavad Gita, we should serve them, associate with them, then we will also develop the taste. I also used to have to doubt what you say. Maybe there's something else. Because that is all, we are always looking for, something maybe higher, something higher. Why you came to America? Looking for higher prospects, na? They're always looking maybe something higher, something higher. This is the highest. Krishna is giving.
And Krishna is telling here in chapter 7,
Verse 2.
second shloka, Jnanam teham savijnanam idam vakshyam yasheshatah yajnatva neha bhuyanyach jnatavyam avashishyate. So, I shall now declare unto you in full this knowledge, both phenomenal and numinous. Now here is the important thing to answer your question. This being known, nothing further shall remain for you to know. So if one understands Bhagavad Gita, There is nothing else for you to know.
Later also, Nata Paratam Nanyat Kinchidasti Dhanajya, Maisaram Idam Protam Sutre Manigana. I have a 7th chapter, 9th verse, which verse?
Yeah, I think 9th verse. Yeah.
7.7, right?
7:7. Yeah.
7.7. Nata Parataram Nanyat Kinchidasti Dhanajya, Mai Protram Sutre Ini Manigana. He is saying there is, by you understand that there is no truth superior to me. There is, Krishna is the last word to understand everything. Huh? How was it? Krishna only appeared 500 years ago, 5,000 years ago. I thought Krishna is just an expansion, incarnation of Vishnu. No, source of Krishna is who? Narayana. That's all correct only. Those are all different way of understanding. It's a separate topic, that is. Krishna always exists in the spiritual world. Krishna is a Ishvara Paramakrishna. Ishvara Paramakrishna Sachidananda Vigraha Adir Govinda Sarva Karana Karanam. Anadir Adir. He is the source of everything. He is the cause of all causes. Swayam Bhagavan Krishna, who exists in the spiritual world, he is the cause of everything. That Swayam Bhagavan happened to descend in this material world 5,000 years ago. Do not think that Krishna took birth 5,000 years ago and lived for like 125 years and is gone. Krishna is finished. Krishna is eternally existing in the spiritual world. But he happened to come. He once in a day of Brahma. That means once in 8.64 billion years. Krishna appears in this world as Swayam Bhagavan. Otherwise, in other yugas, he comes with a different, his expansions only come. This Swayam Bhagavan Krishna, two-handed Shyama Sundara Krishna, he is the source of all. This is not easy to understand. This is not easy to understand. That is why Krishna says, now even many great sages, great demigods, they all cannot understand who I am. In the 10th chapter he says. Because why they can't understand? Because I am their source. Even demigods, Brahma gets bewildered while looking at Krishna. He thinks that, oh, maybe he's just, who is this? So Krishna is not easy to understand, but Krishna is very simple to understand. It is simple, but it's not easy. Simple means Krishna is a cowherd boy. Krishna loves his devotees. Easy, not easy. Why? Because we are complicated. We have layers and layers of covering. Simple. White light is white. How much ever you try to understand that white light, as long as I am wearing a colored glass, you can never understand that white light. Understood? The three modes which covers us is like the different layer of colored glasses we have. However, we try to see the truth, we will see only different colors only. Until we remove the glass, we can't see the real white light. Until we rise above the modes of three modes, until we become liberated by the three modes, from the three modes, we can't understand who is Krishna is. At this stage, we can understand only theoretically. Correct? Brahma Bhuta Prasannatma Nachoshati Nakamshati Sama Sarveshu Bhuteshu Mat Bhaktim Labate Param. Until we come to Brahma Bhuta stage, that understand that I am not this body, I am until pure spirit, we can't develop bhakti for Krishna. Until then, what we do is practice bhakti. Before the batsman plays the real cricket match, he goes to cricket ground to practice. Like that. What we are doing is called Provate Bhakti, practice Bhakti, Sadhana Bhakti. Prema Bhakti will manifest when we are completely detached from this world. Okay?
Yeah. So we can continue the discussion during
Yes.
the prasadam.
Yes, yes, yes.
So it's already 2:15.
Yes, yes,
We
yes.
can
Sorry, we are
start
all
taking
hungry.
the prasadam, but we can
I will
continue.
keep on going.
No, we all will sit here
Yeah.
and we can continue this discussion. If somebody has questions or something.
So my nature is like, I don't look at the time because I'm
But
taking the
before
time
we
so that
get
for
up-
you all be worried about you.
But before we get up, let's all thank you, Madhava Chandra Prabhu, from the bottom of our heart
Hare Krishna.
by saying Hari Bol 3 times very loudly.
Hare
Hari Bol.
Hari Bol.
Hari
Hari Bol.
Bol.
much, Srinivas Sharan Prabhu, for giving this opportunity
For your association.
for us to come and share here. I pray that a nice Vedic cultural center manifests here,
Yes.
where you all can practice bhakti. You don't have to drive in the traffic to Hameshwari Cultural Center. In 40 minutes of traffic, you can find something here. Many more people can get benefited. I pray everything great starts small only, like that. I pray that you all fulfill this desire of Harivilas Maharaj, His Holiness Harivilas Maharaj, that the center be manifest in Bothal, where we disseminate the knowledge of Krishna Bhakti.